we all know the 2025 legislative session is over, and this year seemed to have quite a bit of excitement with it. Here to break it all down is Representative Daniel Pae. Thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tarra, my pleasure.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. So, when we look at the city, I'm sorry, not city council, but the what went on in the Capitol, we found that the agreeing better or disagreeing better didn't work.
Well, at least in the House and Senate, keep in mind that we had new leadership with Speaker Hilbert and Pro Tem Paxton, and in our delegation, I want to commend Representative Caldwell for taking charge of the Appropriations and Budget Committee. I got to work with him as one of the subcommittee chairs on Human Services, and I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to appropriate $2.5 million toward the Advantage Waiver Program for our senior citizens. So, at least in the legislative branch, we were able to have difficult conversations on policy and bring people together and move the ball forward. I'm very proud of our team in the House and certainly in the Senate as well.
A lot of bills passed and went to the governor's desk. They were vetoed, and then they had to come back again to be overridden. So did that provide contention up in the Capitol?
Certainly, up until that day, things were going smoothly. But the very last day of session, it was quite contentious and unpredictable. And the governor vetoed 68 different policy bills, and we overrode 47 of them, including on, well, I think a common sense ideas such as covering the cost of mammograms for breast cancer, addressing the missing and murdered Indigenous people crisis, and then supporting our child care industry. And so I'm disappointed that the governor decided to play politics when it comes to good policy. Like I said earlier, to be in a very disagreeable manner when tensions ran high. I know he criticized us for what I think is upholding our constitutional principle of checks and balances. We do not get to be bullied and intimidated by any individual or group. We have to respect and honor our constituencies and do the people's work.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. And we were all very surprised when we saw that it was vetoed when it came to breast cancer, when it came to child care. We were really surprised by that. But tell me, moving forward, one of the others that surprised us was, of course, the bill that would have allowed cosmetology and barbering and funeral boards to continue. So what happens now?
Yes, and we're able to get that addressed through another legislative vehicle, thanks to Representative Kendricks and Representative Hill. That has been extended for one more year to give us more time, because had the governor's veto been upheld, then that would have caused a lot of chaos in those industries. And again, that's another example where we need to make sure we're being adults and that we're being real leaders when it comes to policy making. And this is now my 7th legislative session. I noticed a headshot that you guys had for my very first year, so I've grown a lot in this role. I've learned a lot.
Right.
I think I'm a more experienced legislator, and I know for a fact that you have to work with other people. You have to respect other people's viewpoints and be a servant leader.
Now, you had bills up there and you were watching them very carefully. How are you feeling about that?
Well, in terms of my legislative portfolio, I'm very proud of the fact that we passed the Fighting Chance for Firefighters Act on a bipartisan basis. That's going to save so many lives, and thanks to Carrie Monroe for advocating for that idea. We also passed Dillon's Law, which is now the most comprehensive law when it comes to helping our people with epilepsy in the entire country by far. And then we also became the 26th state to have a trade office established in Taiwan. There's a lot of uncertainty in that part of the world. I believe it's important that we stand with our allies, including Taiwan, and so I'm glad we're able to get all those types of things accomplished. And again, that comes with seniority and experience, where I was able to work with people on both sides of the aisle, both sides of the rotunda, form coalitions, and get things done for the good people of Lawton.
And that's what we sent you there for.
Absolutely, 7 years and counting.
So now what?
Well, I've been able to catch up with my family and friends since we adjourned a couple weeks ago, and now we focus on interim studies. Those are opportunities for us to do deep dives on any given policy matter. For example, I got contacted about an interim study on youth homelessness, so we'll get to work on the fall about those different subject matters, and then also be back in our districts and catch up with our constituents and help as needed.
Quickly, when you're talking about youth homelessness, we just saw that the Job Corps were shut down. What's going to happen to those kids? I mean, they're homeless. A lot of them are homeless.
Absolutely. Well, that's an example where we need to make sure we monitor what's happening at the federal level, because those decisions directly impact us here in the local community. So I hope we can address that with a common sense remedy. But something I'll personally be keeping in mind, especially as chair of the Human Services Budget Subcommittee.
I hope so. I really do. Okay. Well, thank you again for being with us
Absolutely,
today. It was really good, and enjoy your summer.
I sure will.
Okay, we'll be right back.